I have a song called IDK God. It's funny, I feel like that song just kind of flowed out of me and the person I was writing it with. And it talks a lot about just the not knowing and how hard that is in the world. That's the one song also that just makes me feel not alone whenever I play it. I recognized that I needed to take care of my mental health when I first moved here to Nashville, like a couple years ago. My partner and I were living together, and she was going to therapy and she was going through a lot, and I was seeing that and hearing her talk about, things that have hurt her in the past and how it's affecting her today, and I'm like, damn, I got a lot to talk about too, like maybe I need some help too. And then some family things started, and being an adult for the first time started, and it just kind of piles up. My therapist would ask, how are you feeling today? I would say good or bad, and she was like, maybe you should look up some words. And I ended up getting an app that gave you just a million different words for your feelings, like lonely, deprived, hungry, all of these words that I'm like, oh, those are feelings. It's not just good or bad or happy or sad. It's all of these niche feelings. I would definitely be comfortable labeling myself as anxious and depressed. I've always just been a really anxious kid, just scared, stomach aches all the time. And I think it was hard for my parents to figure out what was going on, because they were like, there's something wrong with her stomach. And I didn't know how to say it's like my brain making my stomach hurt, But as I've gotten older, it's nice to actually understand what is going on in my body and to also have tools to deal with it. Music was my first tool in healing. It's not something I knew it was a tool. I didn't know it was a tool. But looking back on my mental health journey, it is just so clearly a pillar in my healing. One of the main themes in my music is loneliness. And I think I talk about that in a lot of different perspectives, whether it's about my friendships or my relationship or even just in my daily life. I think that it's easy to feel lonely right now. And I think that even in the past 2 years, it's gotten a lot harder. When I first started sharing more about my mental state within my music, I was scared that it would be too much, or I would sound like a crybaby, or that it would just not relate with people the way that it relates to me. And I've realized that the more specific I get with my own journey, that everybody else relates to those really specific moments that I'm talking about within my mental health. And I just feel like, wow, I'm not alone. I'm not the only one that feels that way, and I couldn't ask for a more positive thing. It makes me realize wow, I really do need to share my story. That's what people want from me, which is a little bit shocking, from somebody that has made a joke out of everything and wanted to cover it all up with a joke, but it just feels really freeing to do. I have learned to love myself the most when I do things that really scare me, like this interview, and just sharing those parts in my songs that are a little scary, and showing myself to friends that I maybe didn't show myself to before, but I know deserve it and have earned it. That's whenever I love me the most.